Welcome back everyone to Scary Story Saturday. If you're new to the channel, my name is Joe. I tell personal individual encounters every Saturday. So today's story is going to be about my uncle. So due to personal reasons, we're going to call him Jeff for the story. So before we begin, if it's daytime, make sure you watch this with a friend in a dark room or alone if you dare. And if it's night, the moon's set. And before we begin, make sure if you guys are enjoying this, hit that like button right here, turn on that notification bell, and subscribe. Let's get on with the story. Lights out. So this story is about my uncle. He was making the move back from California and needed a place to stay. So my dad offered the house to him and told him, I don't have any bedrooms, but I sure do got a sofa for you. And my uncle at the time, needing a place to stay, decided to take him up on the offer. And so shortly after that, he ended up moving there. And within my dad's house, there's always been a perception that there was always something that lurked within it. There was an area in the hallway that divided the bedrooms and the bathroom that once we did flooring to the house, we ripped up the carpet and looked what was underneath it. There was an area where, for whatever reason, it looked like it had been broken apart. So someone actually cut into the concrete and patched it over with some cement, but it had been cut out in a perfectly square. So it was a perfect square, and we were baffled about it. We didn't understand how it could be perfectly square like that. It almost looked like someone cut into the concrete to either try to hide something, maybe look for something. I'm not too sure. So once that remodel happened, we're just always kind of wary, and we're say maybe it was the ghost or maybe it was something that was down there, just to try to make ease of it. So as my uncle makes the trip down, he ends up staying the first night. Nothing happens. He says he doesn't really feel anything there. He doesn't really see anything, and that was it. So I could kind of relate to him because as I stayed at my dad's house, I never saw a spirit. I never witnessed nothing. I never heard nothing. A couple weird vibes here and there, but I never really saw anything there. So I didn't think it was haunted. So my uncle stays a couple nights, and it must have been the third, maybe the fourth night. He's there watching TV. I think it was like a Friday night, Saturday night maybe. And he's watching TV. He gets to about 1 o'clock, 2 in the morning, and he turns off the TV. So he's in the living room, of course, and he's sleeping there. And at the time, my younger brother was maybe, I want to say 6 years old maybe, and he had a bunch of toys in the living room, in different areas of the house. And all of a sudden, so he begins to hear sounds of a kid or someone playing with toys. And he kind of just brushes it off as it being my brother and tries to go to sleep, but he continues to hear it. And now he's thinking, wait a second, it's 2 in the morning, maybe a little bit past 2. Why is he up? Why is my nephew up so late? So he starts to kind of turn around and face towards where the toy bucket used to be. And there's a pile of toys there, different toys, Tonkas and, cars, quite a bit of different toys. And he's like staring at it. And he sees a shadow of a young kid. And he's looking closely, and he's just zooming in because he's looking and he sees the little kid go from one area to the next, just playing with the toys, going back and forth. And he can't understand this. He honestly cannot understand this. What's happening? He's in shock. And he just like looks and looks. And the shadow continues to go from one bend to another bend and vice versa. He's just there. So finally, he gets enough courage to kind of get up, and as he's getting up, he sees a little boy start walking down the hallway. And as you walk down this hallway, guys, it leads you to a bedroom or the bathroom or another bedroom. So he gets up, walks, and boom, vanished. He just assumed maybe he went back to his bed. Who knows? He wasn't about to, go into my dad's room when the door was closed or something. So he just kind of, I don't know. So he didn't think much of it. Ends up going back to sleep. And then a week goes by. And this time, he's there soundlessly. When he hears, ding dong. So he can't opens his eyes, and it was a toy. Ding dong. It was like a ding dong type of sound that the toy made. And he's looking over, and there's a kid sitting there playing with this toy. And I shouldn't say a kid, but a shadow of a kid that was just playing with his toy. And he was just in complete shock. So as my uncle tries to comprehend what's happening, he just freezes. He didn't know what to do. He's just there, staring at the back of this shadow of a little boy sitting on the ground. And he's just looking and looking. And finally, the little boy just gets up and walks towards the hallway again. So at this time, he confessed it the very next day. Asked my dad, hey, so I keep seeing this, he tells him the story. My dad being, not really a believer in the paranormal or ghosts and stuff like that, just kind of brushes it off of him just, drinking too much or, imagination. And my uncle was just like, no, I honestly saw a young kid there. And time went by, I think maybe a month or so, and he's kind of creeped out. He doesn't want to really, see anything anymore, so he covers himself. And on this occasion, he said he was dead asleep when he felt someone poking him. So he said, so he kept, he sees this young ghost poking his feet at the foot of the sofa. If you could just imagine a grown man jumping up, turning on the lights, and running out. And that's literally what my uncle did. I wasn't there to witness it, but I heard he made quite a bit of ruckus. And my dad comes out, what's going on? So nope, I'm done. And I think he might have slept maybe one or two times after that, and he ended up, moving in with his girlfriend and not wanting to have anything to do with sleeping over at my dad's house anymore. And that's just kind of how the story went, guys. I never, throughout my time staying there, like I said earlier, I never saw anything, I never heard anything. You get feelings here and there of maybe something watching you or something like that regard. But honestly, I never saw anything. So he was really one of the only ones to ever see anything. So I don't know, maybe something was attached to him. Maybe there was something, subconsciously he would see. I don't know, guys. But he was the only one to really see that apparition of the young boy. No one else ever saw that. Siblings, cousins, anyone else that stayed there never saw anything else, guys. So that's the story. So that's going to conclude this week's episode. I hope you all enjoyed. If you ever had a encounter like this before, please comment below, and I'll see you next Saturday. Embrace your experience.